Hi everyone, it's Mitch, and it is Wednesday, January 2nd, 2019. Here with your free live show. Of course, we're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our best bets over at SportsChatExperts.com as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Of course, we have free picks every single day at SportsChatPlace.com. And of course, we are here live every day. So, hopefully you guys are off to a nice start to the new year. It's pretty crazy college football action. A lot of us got roasted on that Ohio State game. I still don't understand how I ended up where we ended up. At least we had Texas kind of made up for it. Made me at least feel good about something. I personally had it on the money line. And if you are a premium member at SportsChatPlace.com, Premium Plus, I didn't give the pick out as money line, but I certainly said it in the comments that I was going to bet the money line and that there was value there. So we got plus 330 on the money line. It makes up for a lot of the other garbage out there. But Texas, playing with purpose, Georgia looked super soft. Just one college football game left this year. Just 11 NFL football games left this season, which means a whole lot of college hoops, meaning it's conference play, heading into conference play. Got NBA basketball. Of course, the All-Star game is next month, and then, after the All-Star game, it's that push all the way into the playoffs and the finals, which is awesome. And then, before you know it, baseball season will be back in action. Looks like I have some good fights coming up for boxing, MMA. Of course, we got the podcast going. I did the podcast yesterday with Tony. Those of you that subscribe to the podcast, what is this? This looks like something that my wife put on my desk to organize my stuff. Oh, man. Hate the stuff organizing. Hate it. Anyways, she knows that. That's probably why she put it there. It's like, that thing will sit there, and I'll just stuff papers in it. I'll never look at them. That's what happened to it. So, anybody have anything like this at home, right? So what happens to this is you take like this stuff, right, and you start putting it in here, right? Right? Start putting this stuff in here. Then you put more stuff in here, and then you put it over here, and you're kind of like 6 months later, you're just pushing stuff in there. You never have looked there, right? And then one day you need a stamp. You dig through, right, the whole thing. Where the hell are my stamps? That's pretty much how that all boils up. But anyways, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. I posted a poll in the Facebook group about tickets. About posting tickets. We've always allowed tickets. Some groups don't allow tickets. I've always allowed tickets. And, I know that the tickets will have names of online sports books. The tickets sometimes have, the name of the casino where you place the bet. I understand all that stuff. And generally, as long as it's not linked to a sports book and it's put, the ticket is put there generally as a ticket and not as an advertisement for an online sports book, I generally just let it slide. I say no big deal. It's when people promote the online sports books that I go nuts. But it's I've generally just let it go. But it's the posting of the tickets after the game is over, because the point of the group is kind of like, well, it's not kind of. The point of the group is that we all talk about who we think is going to win the games, and the whole strategy is to get everybody on winners. Posting a ticket after the game is over doesn't really accomplish that. The game is over. So unless you can find a sports book that will take our bets after the game is over, which I'm 100% in picking games that are already done. I've never got one wrong, except actually yesterday I misspoke. I said that the ACC had the most pit players in the NFL. It is the SEC. So I was wrong. It happens. I go through so much information. I'll tell you, something like that, like the ACC and the SEC and all that stuff, like who has the most players in the NFL, it varies week to week. and at least the number of them do. And I think right now the SEC has the most, and they've been the dominant conference, as we saw yesterday when Texas beat the living dog shit out of Georgia. Right? The SEC looked really, really, really dominant yesterday, getting stomped like that. I mean, the second best team in the SEC got run over, absolutely run over. Yeah, if I made a mistake, I own up to it, but I'm not gonna. There was a guy in the Facebook group. And the same guy, I'm guessing, left a comment on YouTube, and he's just hammering me about it. It's like, I made a mistake. I misspoke. I'm telling you, 2 years ago, it was totally different. It was, the standings were totally different. Just like, people think the SEC has been dominant in college football for so long, but look at the national champions from like 1980 or 75 all the way up into 2010. It's a handful. It's a handful at most. It's mostly Oklahoma, Miami, USC, Florida State, no SEC teams. I mean, there's an Alabama in there here and there, a Florida here and there, but it's Nebraska. It's Texas. There's an Ohio State in there. It's cyclical. Right now, the SEC is going through a run. And we're starting to see it, and we saw it last year, and 2 years ago when Clemson beat Alabama in the championship game. We saw a deterioration of the SEC where they don't look as dominant as they once did. They have a lot of great players. They do have some very, very good teams. But as we saw yesterday, Texas just smacked Georgia. I mean, they smacked them. And this was a Georgia team that took Alabama to the mat. So, a little food for thought there. Texas beat them. They beat them at a game that they beat Georgia at a game they didn't want to play. Georgia did not want to play smash mouth football. What they like to do is dance and run and, have guys streaking down the sideline. In Texas, you can do that all you want. But what we're going to do is we're going to punch you in the face all day long. And it's like you can run and you can dance and you can try out that method. But while you're doing that, we're going to punch you in the face. If you want to punch us back, that's fine. If you want to just continue to dance like they did, we'll see if that works. But, anyways, Patrick Dunlap has a pick, so he should post that in the Facebook group. Certainly not on my video. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here in Maui. I get up at 5 to prepare for the show. So, pretty. If you want to have a show, I suggest you go on YouTube. I suggest you go on YouTube and create your own videos or create a Facebook group or a website, and you guys are more than welcome to do it. But when it comes to this actual show, this is my show. I'm not ready to give up the mic yet. Or you guys can do the show for me, which is fine, because then I can sleep in. But we're at 7,496 members in our Facebook group. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up. I'm not going to hold you hostage to hit the thumbs up. But I'm going to ask that you do it. It should take you half a second and cost you nothing. We hope that we deliver enough value for you. Anyways, let's get to our first free pick. We'll go to the NBA, as we always, not always do, but this time of year it seems we do. We have 2 thumbs downs. Thank you. I appreciate it. Maybe one day we should see how many thumbs down we can get. I know yesterday I had 11. I hit double digits on thumbs down. People showed up to watch the show, to hear me talk about college football, just to hit the thumbs down, just to let them know, you suck. People, you should read, we should do Mitch's email like once a week. It's so funny. Let's see if I was going to do the game, and I'm going to get back to it in just a second. But so someone yesterday, Brett, who writes a lot of articles on our site, someone yesterday wrote an article about Brett hammering him for his use of the word there. Everyone knows it's THEY apostrophe RE or THERE or THEIR. And I went back and looked at the article, and it was correct in every single way. And they were saying, you should learn how to use the word there. It was like, no, it's in their last 6 games is always THEIR. Anyways, let's get to the NBA. Enough of this grammar stuff. The people that talk about grammar and punctuation, those are the people that aren't invited back, right? But anyways, let's get to this. Let's get to some of these games. We got the 76ers up against the Phoenix Suns, and the line is finally out on this one. It's 5. The Suns are getting 5 at home against 76ers, and 76ers have looked pretty good recently. You know, it's like, I know they got blasted the other day, but they beat the Clippers last night, and but they're still, you know, this is a team that on back-to-backs, they're going to rest their star players. So you have to really, you know, keep an eye out on the Sixers, because while they're young, for some reason, they're young and injured. So when we look at yesterday, Embiid played. We know he's got those sore knees. So more than likely, I'm going to guess he's not going to play in this one. I'm going to take Phoenix at home plus the 5. And I said on yesterday's show that I needed to get a new piece of paper, but of course I didn't do it. So we'll use the old one. Let's see if we can find a pen. You know, when we got the paper rack on the site that my wife's been on the desk fixing things, so it makes it hard to find things. But we found it. We got the pen. Our first pick of the day, we're going to take the Phoenix Suns plus the 5 points at home. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks on this show every single day. Our best bets are in sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com Premium and Premium Plus. We have our new site that's coming out tomorrow is what they're telling me. We'll see. Actions speak louder than words. And, of course, I'm going to start talking about how we can get some hats and shirts and things like that going. That will be it's on my list. I mentioned it yesterday and everyone got all excited. So we'll continue on with it. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you could hit that thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. It's certainly not mandatory for me to give out picks or do anything. But it helps us a lot and shouldn't take you more than a couple of seconds. Anyways, sorry about that. Other business calls. Rather take care of everybody as easy as much as I can. Let's just get right into another free pick. Of course, we have free picks on every game at Sports Chat Place. Our best bets always over at sportschatexperts.com. Got the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics. Celtics laying 6 in this one. T-Wolves are a team I've always had trouble figuring out, but this one a little easier to figure out. I just think the Celtics are the better team. Jimmy Butler seems to be blending well with the Sixers, but as far as the Timberwolves go, we've seen here and there from them, but we still haven't seen anything consistent. For Boston, Kyrie Irving's got an eye issue, so he might miss this game. But one thing we've seen from the Celtics, especially last year's playoffs, and we've seen it plenty this season, is that when Kyrie Irving doesn't play, they seem to play really well. I think they're better without him. It's hard to say that because he's such a good player, but I would say I'll lay the points with the -6, especially if Kyrie's not playing. It just seems that the other guys play a lot better when he's not playing. I don't know what it is, but he's one of the best players in the NBA. It's certainly not a personal statement about him. But what it is just that the team plays better. We saw it in the playoffs last year, and I'm sure we'll see it again. So we'll get to some college hoops. Of course, in the Facebook group, one of the things that I posted was about the posting of tickets, people posting tickets after the game is over. That really doesn't help the rest of us on winners. So there's actually three ways where we can go on this. One is create an entire new Facebook group just for people to post their tickets. Two, just delete the tickets that people post after the game is over. Or a third option, which has been brought to my attention by one of my business partners, and we'll talk about that at some point in the very, very near future and everything that's going on at Sports Chat Place. Now I have partners. Do we just create a thread in Facebook and then everyone could post the tickets inside that thread? And if the ticket's not posted inside that thread, then we delete it. I mean, we've tried things like that before with the thread, but we've tried things like that with the thread, and it never works. So we'll try it again, I guess. Go to college hoops. Central Florida up against Temple. I looked at this game as a premium pick potentially. And what I see is that I think Temple this should be a coin flip when it comes down to it. I know they're both 10-2 coming in. Central Florida has got some big wins already this season. They played pretty strong. But I think Temple makes a game of this. They've played a lot of big games before. It's a big game program, and I think that this is not going to be a problem. So I'm going to take Temple plus the 6 against UCF. And that'll be my third pick for today's show. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks. Lately, I've been doing more. And, of course, our best bet's always over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium Plus. I think for our final pick, I'll go to one of these under-the-radar games. Seen some pretty violent line swings here. Well, not violent, but we've seen plenty of line swings this morning. Movement from last night. There's 2 games that I would like to talk about. I'm just going to pick one of them. And let's go to this game between Vermont and Dartmouth. I like Vermont a lot. We saw them in the NCAA tournament. This is a team that can play. They're laying 10.5 points against Dartmouth. You got Vermont against New Hampshire. These are 2 states that are, I'll tell you, when sports betting rolls around, we're going to care. You know, as it starts to spread out through the United States, we're going to care a lot more. But these are 2 teams that generally, when they used to play, there wasn't a lot of lines in these games, and now they have these late lines in these games. So it's just a different approach to it. Vermont coming off of a bad loss at Lipscomb. They got absolutely crushed in that game. But they have some pretty big wins. They beat Harvard. They beat Northeastern. These are good teams. St. Bonaventure, George Mason, Towson. They lost to Bucknell. They beat Yale. They lost to Louisville in a pretty good game, 86-78. They lost by 8 to them. Meanwhile, you look at Dartmouth. They beat Boston University, Albany, Brooklyn, New Hampshire, Maine, Quinnipiac. They lost to. Played Albany again. Played Albany twice. Won one, lost one. Marist. Crushed by San Francisco. I like Vermont here. I'm going to lay 10.5 points. It's really not anywhere to go. But that'll be our 4th pick and our final pick for today's show. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you hit that thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. We're here at about the same time every single day, around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, sometimes 10:45. Friday's show is going to be at a special time. I'm not even sure what time it's going to be, but that's why I suggest to people subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the little bell in the upper right-hand corner, and even if you don't watch us on YouTube Live and you watch us on one of the other places like Periscope or Facebook, you'll at least get notified that I'm going live, and then you can join us at whichever place you want to watch us at. But if most of the days, it's 11 o'clock, 10:45. But on days like Friday where I'm traveling, I have no idea because my flight is at 6:10 my time, so that equals 11:10 on the East Coast. So it'd be impossible, to do it at 11. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. We'll recap today's show real quickly. We took the Phoenix Suns +5, Boston Celtics -6, Temple Owls +6, and Vermont Catamounts -10.5. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I know you guys have a lot of choices when it comes to free picks, online video, live video, and things like that. I'm just glad you keep us in the rotation. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow.